Good morning, everybody. I'm Dr. Simran. So, today we'll talk about the importance of water. Water makes about 60% of our body weight. It also makes about 60 to 70% of our brain and our heart. Um, it plays vital roles in digestion, in nutrient absorption, in waste removal, and in body temperature regulation, that is homeostasis. And it also is very important to keep our joints and organs cushioned. So, overall, water plays a critical role in our body and our lifestyle. That being said, we'll talk about the effects dehydration, which is happening when we have lack of water, we drink less fluids throughout our day. We have something called mild dehydration, which is very prevalent in many people and many population. People usually do not realize that they're going through this, but it is very common. What mild dehydration can do to you is, first of all, it can affect your digestion. So the digestion process needs a lot of water whenever it has to process all the fibers, all the food contents which we are having. Digestion actually impairment of digestion can happen because of lack of water. So the digestion process requires water, and one consequence of not having enough water in our diet will be constipation, which is very common among men and women both, and of course geriatric population. So one consequence is this, that people usually find themselves having constant constipation. Second, I'll talk about the effect of dehydration on our brain. So, whenever we're dehydrated, the brain needs water to transport glucose. The body needs water to transport glucose to the brain, right? So, whenever there is lack of water, less amount of glucose is transported to the brain for the normal day-to-day functions. Glucose is a vital molecule, I would say, which is required by the brain to function at its optimal capacity. The glucose is also used to make neurotransmitters in the brain, which are chemical messengers, and they help in passing messages or signals from brain to other body parts. So once we are dehydrated, there is less amount of glucose reaching the brain. In turn, there are less amount of neurotransmitters being made in the brain. The overall function and the working capability of the brain decreases. So it affects our cognition, it affects our mood, and the overall function of the brain. All of these are hampered and decreased, and we feel dizzy, we feel lack of zeal, lack of interest, lack of you can say motivation. That is how our body reacts to all of these things. Also, there's a very important function which water plays in a body is homeostasis, which is the body temperature regulation. So when we are lacking water in our body, that means we have inadequate supply of water. These body temperature fluctuations are very oftenly seen. Thirdly, I would like to talk about the effect of water on our body while we are in resting phase and exercising. So in resting phase, the body is going through certain amount of normal metabolic reactions, which are the normal day-to-day part of our body system. So any kind of metabolic activity or reaction in our body requires water for it to happen, and also the normal byproducts of these metabolic reactions, these are called toxins or nitrogenous waste. These are also excreted through our body via the kidney and other skin and kidney and other organs through the medium which is called water. So whenever we are having less amount of fluids in our body, these metabolic pathways also in turn tend to slow down. So that means the normal functions of our body, they decrease. Also in cases of when we are exercising, if we are lacking normal adequate amount of water, this will affect our body's capacity to function optimally. that will lead to increased fatigue, that will lead to increased perceived effort, it will lead to decreased endurance, muscular endurance, and also it affects the recovery of the body. Once we are doing heavy work, maybe people who are working heavily in the sun, or maybe doing some heavy physical work, or they are working out, doing exercises, so if they're planning on, if they want to recover optimally and in a good way, they need adequate amount of water in their bodies. Also during the season of Ramadan, if people are fasting from daytime till evening, and one important thing for them to implement in their life is they have to drink enough and adequate water during the evening times, so that whenever they're fasting throughout the day, that body water can be used for their normal body functions. They don't have dehydration effects, they don't feel lethargic, they don't feel fatigued. So that being said, that's all about water's importance in our body. Now, how much water should we drink? For an adult female, the adequate amount, researchers and studies, they have said that the adequate amount of water to be had in one day, that is 24 hours, is minimum 2.2 liters, that is approximately 8 to 9 cups. And for adult male, that same amount increases because the body weight increases, so that is about 3 liters, and which is about 11 to 12 cups. So please make sure you're drinking enough water and keeping hydrated. Thank you.